Sponsored by HHNUnofficial.com, the home of Halloween Horror Nights news and rumors all year round. Find us on the web at www.hhnunofficial.com. So stop the fog machines and clear the cobwebs. It's time for another episode of the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Spoken at our house and hours alone, not those of any other bugger. If you're easily offended, we strongly suggest finding another podcast. Everybody neat and pretty, then on with the show.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you listen to this, and welcome to Dadflix, the new on-demand, payable podcast service from Dis After Dark. I am Nick, and joined as always by the Scouse Wonder Boy himself, Mr. Craig Lucas.
Hello, it's $5 a month, and you get 14 hours of content from my bathroom every month.
And I believe toilet trip reports when you go to Disney Park.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. We have the other boy wonder, known as Pdubbs Paul Washington.
Bonjour.
And the man who makes Dis After Dark, in my opinion, Mr. Paul Dolan.
Too kind. For $9.99 you get 5 facts a month, and one of them might be true. Sort that out.
How's everyone doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah, fan-dabby dozy.
Yeah.
You don't sound it, Craig.
Oh, I'm riddled.
more than usual.
Yeah.
I take it.
And that's before you've interviewed Adam.
Yeah.
That is very true. Right, we'll crack on because I think we've got quite a lot to talk about this week. Thank you to all of the one person that asked where I was on the previous shows. I'm really glad I got a fan base there. But yes, I'm back. Sorry about that. And we'll start off the show as we do each and every show with what is everybody drinking. And I am going to go with the riddle man himself, Craig. What's in your glass?
I'm drinking. It's a fresh, smooth drink that quenches my thirst like no other.
God.
It's Bud Light.
Ah, Bud Light.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're all drinking?
Not just yet. Not just yet.
We're willing to.
I'm wearing me Bud Light pyjamas as well.
No other beers are available, except for the ones we're going to mention this last time. Mr. D, what are you drinking?
I've got 2 cups of tea here.
Why have you got 2
Because
cups
1
of
cup
tea?
just isn't enough. Because I'm in a place where it's only really small cups, and this is definitely a 2-cup podcast.
One.
The
One
Welsh
from
only
2
have small
cups.
cups, don't they?
Yeah.
Funny enough, actually, that you mentioned tea, because I've decided that I want to drink tea, but I want to drink. I want to drink proper tea, like not tea bag crap. I'm going to buy some loose leaves and a proper teapot and make it a proper old-fashioned way.
That gets boring very quickly.
I'm sure it will do, but at least for the novelty at the start, it means that I'll drink tea. I'm just a bit bored of coffee and beer.
You'll eat tea as well.
Mr. Washington.
You know what happens then?
I have a nice bourbon for the evening.
Oh,
Chocolate?
This is going to be muddy.
The biscuit or the drink?
Both, I've dipped it in.
I don't think.
I should have the biscuit to go with my tea.
Yeah, you do. Well, did they not provide any with your pillow or something? On your
No.
nightstand?
In the interest of full disclosure, I should say I've had a fair amount of Coronas before the tea.
This is the come down.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, in lieu of trying to drink more American Anheuser-Busch drinks, I've got my last bottle of Coors Light. You won't be hearing me drinking this on the podcast anytime soon. After that, let me tell you. Hang on. There we go. Right, what was I was going to say something. I've lost my train of thoughts. It wasn't that important. So, one of the things that we were going to talk about this evening, is Mr. Washington's trip to Disneyland Paris, which wasn't any normal occasion. This was a very special time.
It was. Well, it was meant to be 3:15 time, but by the time I woke up, it was 5 o'clock. But
Yes.
I've just got to say, what were you playing at there?
do you know what? My alarm actually went, but I checked it afterwards and realised it had been set with no sound.
Oh, my
What
goodness.
the hell?
And I don't know how it had done it, because I've used it before.
Was it an Android phone?
No,
Yes, it
it's
was.
an iPhone.
Really?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Lee
even
Malaby's
possible?
just got a little baldy stiffy.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, he's not going to be writing anything on his phone about it, is he?
No.
Where's your phone, Lee?
I thought the alarm went off anyway.
So
It does,
did I.
but it was going with no sound.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, my missus won't have vibrate on her phone because she doesn't like the noise that the vibrate makes. So she'll lose a phone and she'll ring it, and if she's got the phone on silent, you can't hear it because you can't even hear it vibrate. So it's a bloody nuisance. That's why vibrate is always a good idea, in my opinion. But let's start right at the beginning because we've already kind of got there. But I mean, this was a day and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was literally a day and a half.
So you. Well, no, I'll let you tell the story.
So, as I said, I was meant to be leaving my mum's house at about 4 o'clock to get the first train out of where she lives to get the first Eurostar. As I said, my alarm didn't wake me up. I woke up. My brother's alarm in the next bedroom went off at 5 to 5, and the train I was meant to be catching was at 5:10. So then that took in 2.5, 3 mile run to the train station to catch the next one, which I got to, which was fine. Made it to the Eurostar probably with half an hour to spare.
Which in Eurostar terms is actually plenty. That's
Yeah,
why it's a lot better than an airport.
Yeah. I managed to get on the platform by the time I'd gone through security and everything. I had 9 minutes before the train left. Yeah. So, was very, very lucky that I managed to catch that next train. And that my half marathon training was put into practice. Got the Eurostar to Lille. I went for that option. I had the train was on time, getting me to Lille. I got to Lille and found that the previous train that was going to Disneyland Paris was still sitting on the platform. Was 40 minutes delayed, but I wasn't allowed to get on it. Because I pre-booked my ticket for the next train. I had to watch it sail away without me, which was a bit annoying because it would have meant I got to Disneyland Paris an hour earlier than I should have done. But I got on the next one. That was fine. There was no delays. That was what I was worried about, that the next one was going to be delayed by the same amount. Luckily, it wasn't.
Now, so just to go back, this was on the Tuesday.
Yes.
Was it? So this is the 11th of April.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
Sorry,
that's the Tuesday. Yeah. So, got to Marla Valley at just gone midday. Had my big bag because I got cameras and stuff with me. Couldn't go and check into the hotel. But I found out that they actually had a luggage service where I could put it. So as soon as I got there, I went straight to the hotel, and they've got lockers that basically you type in a code and it locks it up for you for the rest of the day.
Was that in the train station?
No, this was at the hotel. Most of the hotels, like the Kyriad, the Explorers, have all got locker rooms that you can use. I'd used the one at the Explorers previously for the half marathon. So I went and did that. I was staying at the Kyriad this time, rather than staying on site. On site's the next trip that's coming up in June. Then I headed straight back to the park after I'd locked everything up. Sadly, a couple of weeks before, I'd lost my wallet. That included my annual pass.
That's right, yes. I remember you doing that.
So I went to customer services. After a bit of confusion as to what I was actually asking, I eventually got a supervisor who then sorted everything out, gave me a complimentary ticket for the day to get in. He said that they wouldn't be able to do it for a second day, that I would need to go to the annual passport office, or whatever you want to call it, which he said was no problem. That was the plan that I had anyway. And a bit of pixie dust for the day to make up for losing my wallet and everything. They actually gave me a voucher for a free pin.
Ooh.
which was quite nice of them, I thought.
A drawing pin, or
no? I went and picked one from the collection. I actually got some Lost Pirate gold pin from Pirates of the Caribbean.
When you was at the desk trying to get into the park without your annual passport and explaining the situation, did you do that very British thing that we do, which is say it much louder and much slower?
No, they were actually fairly good English speakers.
Okay.
So I have started to relearn French again. I'm spending quite a bit of time at Disneyland Paris at the moment with the annual pass. So I have started to try and relearn it. I have not done any since I was 16.
Now,
so,
I tried to do this a couple of years ago. I tried to do this a couple of years ago and started the very basics and kind of lost my mojo with it. What are you, if you don't mind me asking, what are you using?
I am using an app called, let me find it.
Or
it's called
as French would say, un app.
Yeah, un app. Duolingo is what I'm using.
Okay.
Oh yeah, our Eve loves that.
Cool.
So using that at the moment. I'm only a couple of days in, obviously.
Give us a few little basics.
Oh God, I can't. They've not even got me speaking it yet.
Oh.
It's like literally just picking up and putting phrases together for the most part in the basic bit, rather than talking it yet.
Okay, I'll get right. What am I saying now? Je m'appelle Craig. J'habite à Liverpool.
Your name is Craig, and you live in Liverpool.
Boom. Fluent.
Okay.
Paul, you know when you say they haven't got you talking yet, are you sure you just don't still have that volume off?
What, like Nick did earlier?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
Feedback Central.
Yeah.
Paul, j'aime la piscine.
You are pissing.
No! I love swimming, you racist.
Where's the toilet?
Christ. It's pissing swimming pool. God's sake. That's the one thing you remember from French, because it sounds rude and it's not. Anyway, sorry, Paul.
So yeah, I got in, they gave me my ticket, I went straight to the annual passport office to be met by a very long queue.
Oh.
So I got in the queue. Normally they've got a cast member outside, and at this point they didn't, and I think this was due to how busy it was. Maybe after 10 minutes of being in the queue, someone came out, and I thought, this queue's got to be too long for what I want to do. So I went and spoke to the cast member and told her, again, difficulty explaining what was actually wrong. Eventually she got it and she said, in that case, go and join the queue at the other door. And there was maybe 10, 15 people in that queue. Much shorter. I thought, I'll be in fairly quickly. An hour later, I was still standing outside waiting to get in.
Let me guess, that 10-person queue had one person serving.
Well, yeah, it seemed like it, but I think they were putting more people in from the other queue,
right,
just using everybody. And then after maybe 20 minutes, they'd let one lot of people in from the queue that I was in.
Oh, God.
So it was a bit of a nightmare. I did see a bit of one of the new shows while I was in the queue. The Mickey anniversary party that was on the castle stage. Didn't see all of it. But what I saw of it was okay. I've actually watched it since I've got home. But eventually I got in and once again had to explain what was going on. And the woman behind the desk didn't seem to know how to reissue an annual pass. So every time she did another step, she was having to ask a supervisor as to how to do it and everything. Eventually I got it. It cost me €25 to replace my annual pass.
Cheaper than a new one, though.
Yeah, we've got a new one, and it actually says that it's a replacement on it. So I think they start to get the hump the more often you ask.
Not like the French get the hump about anything like that.
No, not at all. But yes, I've got a new annual pass now. I don't know whether they were a bit confused as to the fact that mine's still one of the old style annual passes rather than the new upgrades. That was mainly what that queue was for. The longer queue was for people that wanted to upgrade their annual pass.
Well, I suppose what the only confusion there might have been is the fact that the only people now that will have those passes or should have those passes are either people like yourself that have lost your annual pass or people that have bought their annual pass in advance, because I think you could, I mean, you can't now, but you were able to until the end of March buy the old style annual passes as a voucher and exchange. You have to exchange, I think, within 6 months.
Yeah.
Or something. So yeah, I mean, obviously they'll be phasing those out very, very soon.
Yeah. So no, eventually got that sorted. At that point, it was I'd probably been in there an hour and a half altogether with the queuing and actually getting the pass. So by that point, it was time to check into the hotel. So headed back.
You've gone on the crappiest rides.
Yeah, I know.
The annual pass ride, the hotel ride.
Yeah, so three journeys on the shuttle bus within 3 hours of being in Paris.
God.
So I went and checked in, had a bit of a break. Obviously, I hadn't even looked at what the queues were like at this point for any of the rides. Had a bit of a break. It was probably... So, obviously, at that point, I'd missed the parade.
Mm-hmm.
So I headed back and I thought, right, I'm going to try some of the things that I didn't do the last time I was there. So I actually headed to the studios. I thought the queues might be a bit quieter in there. No, they weren't. I got in there and I thought, I've still not been on Crush's Coaster.
How many times have you been to Disneyland Paris now?
That's 4 or 5.
What?
And every time the queues have been huge.
Mm.
And I went in and that was the first place I thought, right, I'll head straight there because I've still not been on it. The main queue was 90 minutes. And the single rider queue was 60 minutes.
Wow.
So I thought, right, I'm not getting in that. Not having been up since 5 o'clock.
But you
morning.
did have a lie-in, to be fair.
Yeah, I did have a lie-in. But, so I thought, right, I'll walk around and see what Ratatouille was like. That had a 25-minute single rider queue. It wasn't 25 minutes. I think I was only in the queue for 15 minutes.
Oh, that single rider queue for Ratatouille is a joke. Like, I remember going on it once, and it was a 10-minute wait. I walked through. Like, the only time I stopped was to pick up the 3D glasses. And I was at the front,
it was,
you know.
Yeah, it was much better in there. So I did that. Then where did I go? Then I headed back out because I thought, right,
To the hotel.
excuse I'm going to get it. No, I didn't go. I didn't go back to the hotel again.
was tea
I went
time.
I went into the main park. I thought, well, if the queues are that long in the studios, they're going to be just as long in the other park. But there's a couple of other things. So first of all, I headed to Indy, and the queue for that was, and again, that was about 90 minutes.
Jesus, no one likes that ride.
You headed to Indy.
Yeah.
That's the worst ride I've ever been on in my life.
Well, the last time I went, it was closed. They were doing a refurb on it. So I thought, I'll head to that, and then I thought, all right, I'm not getting in that queue. Fuck that.
Good lad.
Not waiting that long for it. So where did I head next? Can't even remember where I went. I don't think I actually went on anything at that point.
Although saying that, I mean, we've got to remember that Pirates is down at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's not actually much in Adventure Island to do.
There's Mission, Mission Space Mission.
Space Mountain.
That's the one.
Still.
Is that still closed? Yeah.
It's,
So there's
4th and 5th of May. 5th and 6th of May. That's got preview nights, special nights, and then the 7th is when it officially opens to the public.
Yeah. So actually, tell a lie, I didn't stop then. I went over to Star Tours, which amazingly only had half an hour wait.
Wow.
For what is technically the newest ride in the park.
Not technically about it, it is.
It is, yeah. I know it's a revamp of it, but so I headed over to that. I have got some footage of that I recorded of the queue.
Cool.
That's going to go up on YouTube soon once I've edited it together. And now I went on Star Tours The Adventure Continues in Florida, 3 years ago, and it actually made me feel ill. I can safely say that the Paris version doesn't make me feel as bad.
Excellent.
And I don't know what it is, whether it's a new ride system, they've improved it, but I definitely didn't feel as bad. There was a couple of moments where I had to shut my eyes. Just the transitions between the scenes were the worst bits for me. But other than that, the rest of the ride was fine.
Did he still do that annoying thing?
What, the Rebel?
No, they talk in French.
Yes. C-3PO now speaks in French.
Well, actually, C-3PO used to speak in French in the original Star Tours as well.
Yeah. But now he's the pilot, so he continuously speaks in French. What was the first ride I got? First time I went on it.
French.
Possibly. If you speak French droid, then possibly. I got the planet that Chewbacca's from the prequels.
Bristol.
Oh, yeah.
And I got Boba Fett on my first go, which weren't the greatest couple of scenes that you could possibly ask for. But I enjoyed the ride. As I said, it's a much better, much smoother ride than the one in Florida for me. So I will be going on it again, I would imagine, when I go in June. Take my little boy on it for the first time.
Awesome.
Then I headed to... I went and saw the Princess show on the Castle stage, the evening show, which has got all the main princesses in it.
Were you disappointed because you wanted them to have the princesses no one knows about?
Well, yeah.
Or are you doing something completely different?
No, it's the
I went to
show
the Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, in France, it could have been more Crazy Horse or Moulin Rouge than Disney.
Two
But no,
princesses in the cup.
It was all right. It wasn't the greatest show at Disney, even. But it was enjoyable. Wasted a little while. For bulk of the day, Big Thunder Mountain had actually been down, but it came back up in the evening. Managed to get on that. No effects on that are really good. They've upgraded it to what it was in California, which is quite nice. Again, definitely a smoother ride. It felt a bit quicker, in fact, if anything, than it was previously.
Well, I argue that Paris's Big Thunder is the best version.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that, definitely.
So now they've had the effects as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's definitely improved, and I'll be going on it again as long as the queues aren't ridiculous. As I said, it had been closed for the bulk of the day, but came back up in the evening. And then a classic, I went on Phantom Manor to finish the evening off that first day before. I know I actually didn't see the new fireworks show.
Yeah, I saw that. So how did you miss that?
Do you know what? It just been such a long day. I just couldn't be bothered to wait to queue. And I know I'm going back in June.
Yeah, it's different.
It'll be quieter.
Yeah, it's
do you mean it was such a long day? You had a lie-in, for God's sake.
Half a job.
Yeah. Well, by that point, I'd already done, a 17-hour day.
Oh, cry me a river.
Yeah.
Cry me a river.
Yeah, I know. But at that point, it was I actually hadn't eaten either. So I had my dinner in the good old Earl of Sandwich. Nice cheap one for the first night. And for the whole trip, to be honest, it was a cheap trip. So I didn't have a sandwich. I had ribs and potato wedges.
I've looked at that before.
They did.
They only do that in the evenings, and I think it's fairly new. What was it like? Was it good?
It was actually really nice.
Cool.
It was actually really surprising. A fair bit of meat on the old bones.
Oh, I got a rather disappointing salad from there when I was there in February.
Well, yeah, because you asked for salad, you donut. Of course, it was disappointing. So, as you was at Earl of Sandwich, could you see what was going on across the road?
At Cafe Mickey's?
Mm.
Not a lot. It still looks exactly the same. They've not done anything to it at all.
I'm sure that was open in February when we went.
Yeah, it closed about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. And it's back open again as a normal restaurant.
Without any characters?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the reason why I asked that was because I thought it was closed down, and I thought they were going to be turning it into something new.
Nope. Still exactly the same restaurant with exactly the same menu, just no characters.
What's the point of that?
So they're charging the same price as well?
I don't know. I didn't look at the price, but It's exactly the same menu.
Damn.
That's disappointing.
So.
Damn.
And I didn't get a chance to see the new character breakfast because Plaza Gardens wasn't open the next morning. They'd moved the character breakfast to the studios.
And why was that, Paul?
Because it was the 25th anniversary!
Oh! So
what time did you set your alarm for, Paul?
I set my alarm for 5 o'clock.
And what time did you actually get up?
3:30. Because someone decided to check it. Yeah, someone decided to check in at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hoi, hoi, ho.
And was in the room next door to me.
Was you sitting in the reception?
Well, no, it was people in the room next to me, and I could hear them moving their luggage into the room.
Where were they from?
I don't know. I couldn't hear them talking, but I could literally hear them banging their bags about.
Oh, yeah, I see.
So
that wasn't bad.
That's what we're calling it. That's what we're calling it these days, is it? Checking in,
banging their luggage. Yeah.
Half whole, half whole.
I probably dozed for about another hour, but then I got up. The first
got the glass to the wall.
Yeah. Like that Friends episode.
So how did you get to the park?
The first bus was around 6 o'clock.
On a scooter?
On a scooter, yeah. No, I had kind of, because we'd spoken about it, Nick, I know that people were saying they were planning on getting there at like 5 o'clock in the morning. But I spoke to a few other people and they weren't getting there that early. And,
they were telling you that, so you didn't get there at 5 o'clock?
Well, I got the bus. The bus, I think, arrived at the Kyriad at about 20 past 6. And that got me, it only took maybe 10, 15 minutes. But it was fine. The bus was fairly busy, but I got on. The Kyriad's the second stop on the bus. So it wasn't too bad. A few more people piled on at the next couple, but it only took 10, 15 minutes, even with the stops. So I was there by just after 6:30. At that point, we walked over to the first security checkpoint, and I would say maybe 300-400 people in front of me.
Okay.
So it wasn't too bad, but then that wasn't taken into account the people that were coming out of the hotels. They'd been obviously let in at their security checkpoints and were waiting at the gates to the park inside. So how many people were there, I don't know. Eventually, they started bag check maybe 20 past 7, so I waited about an hour before they let us in, which wasn't too bad. Bag check was fairly quickly. We were in fairly quickly through bag check. So that was no issues at all. Headed straight to the entrance. As I said, there was people already waiting that had come out of the hotels. We waited there half an hour. Luckily, I could pick up Wi-Fi there from the Disneyland Hotel, which was quite good. So I wasn't using any of my my data while I was under there. So as I said, they eventually opened the gates at dead on 8 o'clock, which was when they were meant to be opening. We slowly fed through. Got through the gates, had a quick look around to see whether they'd added anything else, and I looked up, and there should be someone that we all know on this podcast, Mr. Justin Scard. Had a quick word with him, a quick fun one. Took a photo with him, spoke to his girlfriend Ali, also bumped into Geordie from DLRP Fans, from YouTube as well. Had a quick word with him, and then made my way into the park. Main Street was already filling up very quickly. As we went in, they were giving away 25th anniversary pin badges. Huge, great big things they are. About as big as my hand.
You do have small hands, though. You've got Trump-like hands.
Yeah, quite clearly. But no, compared to the normal pins that they give away, these things were huge.
Yeah.
Lady hands.
Lady hands, yeah. So Main Street was filling up fairly quickly. I thought I'd found a spot. As you come off Main Street into Town Square, as you go into one of the arcades, there was like an empty spot there, but they were actually moving people on from there, saying that you wouldn't see anything there. Well, quite clearly that's the exit for all parades. So you could see things. They just wanted to move people on from there early on before another load of people came in. They wanted to fill the far end of the park up, which ended up being a good thing. I made my way down to where the castle stage is, where the normal shows are, the 25th, and found a little spot there between the stage and the kind of the castle there. And I was maybe 5 people back.
Did you have a better view than Justin Scard?
I was probably closer than Justin was, yeah.
Yeah, he was away, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he did quite a bit of filming before he actually made his way down.
Yeah.
I think he filmed all his stuff kind of in that first couple of hours before the show started. So I was fairly close. I couldn't really see the castle from where I was because I was so close to it. But I was right in front of the stage in the hub, which ended up being absolutely perfect. Because that's where all the show was.
Well, you say absolutely perfect, but I think me and Craig, we got a pretty decent view, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, you did from your office desk and your home.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that it was streaming live on YouTube. It was absolutely phenomenal.
It's not the only thing that was streaming, Craig, was it?
No.
Sorry, your eyes, son.
Oh, I think it was an allergic reaction to just happiness.
But the thing is, and it was amazing. Me and Craig were talking about this, and we were saying it's probably the best Disney parade we've ever seen at any park. So that was us watching it from afar, albeit with zoomed in camera shots. What was it like being there?
The atmosphere was just unbelievable. When the characters first came out, we thought, "Oh, wonderful! There's the main gang." Now it'll be a few speeches and that'll be it. No, it wasn't. Then they started rolling out the characters from each land, which was ridiculous in its own sense that they got enough characters to fill these groups for each land of the park. So you had Adventureland, saw Tarzan and Jane, and Discoveryland was Stitch, and multiple different characters from Lilo and Stitch, all the different aliens and things like that, and Lost from Atlantis and things like that.
Treasure Planet as well.
Treasure Planet, yeah. Then you get to the end of that, and then they bring out all the rare characters. We have to talk about one particular character, though, don't we?
Can we talk about her right at the end? I don't think I'm ready for it. I'm not drunk enough for it yet.
Oh
no, go
yeah.
on. We'll talk about it now.
Yeah, let's talk about Jessica Rabbit.
Oh yeah,
shit.
Hubba.
Oh, no.
Oh God, no!
Oh my God! Do you know what it reminded me of, Paul? Right? Did you see, or do you remember that IKEA advert from a couple of years ago, where the kids' toys all came to life, and they were life size, and there was like a child's doll.
Yeah.
And that was walking around with this like completely blank expression on its face, a bit like Big Baby out of Toy Story 3. That was Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, but she had a good rack on it.
Oh, yeah, all right, Craig. Body like Baywatch, face like Crime Watch. I know what you're saying, but
I know you'll probably find out it was a man.
Of course it was.
Oh God!
I can walk with those hips. It was good that they brought. The thing is, there were characters I'd never seen. Yeah. That was the thing. That's how rare some of the characters were. I think it's Bleakley from Lilo and Stitch was in Drake.
Yeah. Which
happens in the film. Yeah. So it made sense, but I've never seen that character like that. I don't think, other than maybe when the film first came out, I've ever seen characters from Treasure Planet or Atlantis.
Meet the Robinsons.
Chicken Little, Meet the Robinsons, yeah.
Yeah, Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Robin Hood I've seen about, but again, very rare. And of course, one of probably the rarest of them all, from Paris' point of view, was Oswald.
Yep.
I don't think he's ever made an appearance in Paris before, has he?
No, I think that's his first appearance outside California.
Yeah. Oh well, no, he's at Tokyo as well, isn't he?
Oh yes, yeah.
Did you get anything in your eyes, Paul?
Yes. Yes, there was
smoke. Lots of smoke because there's smokers everywhere.
Yeah, there was some sweat coming from my eyes.
I had rain coming out of my eyes.
So yeah, and then obviously the speech from Catherine Powell, our friend Catherine Powell,
friend of the show.
Yeah,
listener Catherine Powell.
Yeah, which was lovely. Bit surprised that Bob Iger didn't make an appearance. though I am led to believe that he was there, but didn't take part in any of the festivities.
You probably don't want to do an Eisner.
I think he's keeping a low profile because of the deal.
Yeah, we'll come to that in the news. But
yeah,
I mean, I think, I mean, you could be right with that, but I also think as well, you know, if you go back and watch Michael Eisner at the opening of Disneyland Paris and his very poor attempt at doing French, considering how long he had to prepare for, it's not very good. Whilst, you know, Catherine was fantastic. You know, switching like that. I mean, I can't say exactly how good her French accent was, but from someone who doesn't really speak the language other than a few words, she sounded very good. Très bien. But, you know, the way she just split it between the two, clearly someone who is bilingual and was kind of perfect for the role, and perfect to be doing that kind of speech.
And then obviously we had the little bike things come back up Main Street with the main characters in their one-off costumes just for the day.
Costume change, yeah.
Yeah. They were just for the one day. They won't be worn again.
And Max Goof was there, wasn't he, the whole time?
Yes, he's actually a major part of the celebrations.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, there's meet and greets with him. He swaps out with Goofy.
Cool.
He's part of the Mickey Mouse celebration on the castle stage.
And who's the chipmunk?
Clarice.
Hello, Clarice.
Yeah, it is a bit like that. She is a little bit freaky as well.
She's no Jessica Rabbit.
No, she isn't. But yeah, she's become really popular in Paris. I don't know why.
Oh.
Which she tends to be around with Chip and Dale or Tick and Tack.
Tick and Tack, yeah.
Tick and Tack and Dingo.
One character who I didn't see, and I don't know if he was there and he just didn't. We didn't see him or not. But was Marsupilami there at all?
No.
It's an odd one because I don't know who else knows. Paul obviously remembers who Marsupilami is, but Marsupilami was a cartoon in the early 90s. It was part of like a Disney multi-cartoon thing, so it was like all shorts, wasn't it? And it was like about 3 or 4 different characters. But Marsupilami's not a Disney creation. I think he's either French or Belgian. But Disney got the right, a bit like Winnie the Pooh, Disney got the rights to him. So I thought that would be someone that you thought would have made an appearance. But, okay, interesting.
And talking about the animated TV series, obviously there was Darkwing Duck and Launchpad McQuack.
Yes.
Was there as well.
Yes.
Strange that there was no Scrooge McDuck, though.
Especially as, I mean, I've met him in the parks.
Yeah.
I met him in Disneyland Paris, so he's definitely, they definitely had him.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think it's lovely that they did such a big celebration. I mean, it was a much higher point than the 20th anniversary celebrations. I mean, I can barely remember the 20th anniversary celebrations. They just didn't seem to make a big deal like they did with this one.
No.
And, you know, maybe it's a sign of, you know, do you think they may have done it as a bit of a calling card?
I think possibly, yeah. I think this was
what we can do.
Yeah, I think this was a thing to come out and go, look, if we can do this now, what do you think we can do when we've got the full backing of the company?
Yeah.
So, no, that was definitely worth it. And as I said, I was about 5 back. I've got some good photos from that, but the second bit was even better, which I don't think was broadcast on YouTube, was it?
No, it ended not long after the bikes, really.
Yeah, well, this wasn't until the afternoon. I went off. I did Star Tours again. Got a couple of different bits. I got the pod racing this time.
My Pdubbs.
Well, that actually works though.
Yeah,
fairly well.
I know, but it just reminds me of the prequels. So
Yeah, sadly, it was ended by the worst bit of the prequels. I got Jar Jar Binks. Yeah. So that was the downside of Star Tours.
I like the prequels. I don't know if it's just me or not.
No, it's just you. We've had this before.
But yeah, but no, again, very enjoyable. I tried the Jedi burger.
Oh, yeah, they've taken away the Vader burger, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they've got a 25th. Is it a 25th anniversary burger they've replaced?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it the same as what I had in the net?
No.
Possibly, yeah.
I had the Jedi burger. It was red.
Oh.
No. Something different.
I thought I was having a frigging hemorrhage out my arse the next morning.
That's what happened with the black bun. Well, I don't know about Disneyland Paris version, but when Burger King did a black bun a few years ago, that was the aftermath.
I thought it'd come on.
But I had the Yoda cupcake.
Oh,
which is the heaviest cupcake I've ever had.
Okay, right. Do you go to Asda and you buy a pack of 10, add an egg and water? Yeah? That's what that cupcake is.
It literally felt like I'd picked up a rock.
That's the cream. The cupcake underneath is a cupcake from Asda.
Other supermarket brands of cupcakes are available. So I've not had the Star Wars stuff, so is it nice? Was the burger nice?
It was. Yeah. It's your usual theme park fare, but yeah, it was nice enough.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, I did Star Tours. Then it was time for the second bit of the anniversary, and this was actually all those characters doing the parade route. I managed to sneak my way into the front row of the parade.
Which you pretend to be a 4-year-old child again, Paul?
Yeah. Yeah. We won't mention any names of people that don't like that. But yeah, front row, and all those rare characters then paraded up and down the route. And I managed to get some really great photos, including the aforementioned Oswald waving to me.
Oh, man, I love Oswald so much. How long did that parade last? It must have been a bloody long parade for the afternoon.
It was about 45 minutes.
Jeez. Yeah.
Altogether. I'm now suffering for it. The skin is peeling off my face. It was rather warm.
Did you open up the Ark?
Yeah. But I was actually positioned right in front of the castle stage. So kind of some of my photos have also got the castle behind it. So some of my photos have come out really, really well. So a few of them are the characters actually looking straight at me, which I was very happy about.
Did you get any moments of weeping for the parade?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, there was a few characters that they had the whole, 5 of the Big Hero 6 characters, which my son absolutely loves Big Hero 6. And he would have absolutely loved seeing those characters. We've since watched it since I've been home, and he's seen the photos, and he's like, woo! Every time he sees them. There were so many characters that he would have loved, so it was kind of as well thinking about if I'd have taken him. I don't think he would have coped with it, even if I had have taken him.
There's time. The thing is, the time of the 30th day. Do you know what I mean? Like he'll be, a much better age. Same with mine. Yeah. Like I mean, they love watching on telly, but I looked at those crowds and I thought there was no way I would like to have been there with the kids.
No, certainly I couldn't have taken him, but it was kind of that thought as well. Kind of got to me as well, and just the whole thing. Some of those characters that I never thought I'd see. So yeah, the parade was for me probably better than the show itself, because you got a better view of each character, I think, and they were kind of interacting with people as well. along the route, which was quite nice. So yeah, and then I didn't really have much time after that to think about anything else. I kind of had to go and pick my bag up before it was time to come home.
Oh.
Very short and sweet, but at the same time, I mean, probably a visit to the park that you will not be forgetting anytime soon.
No,
at the same
it certainly
time.
won't be. Yeah, it certainly won't be. And I actually can't wait for some more of the anniversaries to pop up around the world. Mentioning that, it's the 34th anniversary today for Tokyo Disneyland as well.
Wow,
Yeah.
as long as that, yeah.
Yeah, they've just announced their 35th celebrations, I believe.
Well, let me know when Shanghai's doing their 5th. That's when I'll be going.
Yeah,
rock on Shanghai. So, I mean, other than the people that you mentioned, the famous people that you mentioned, did you bump into any listeners?
Not really. Not anyone.
The right answer, Paul. I should have briefed you before we started the show. You're supposed to say
I know.
hundreds and thousands.
I should have, and we've talked about it, that I went without badges.
Badges?
Yeah, we forgot.
Yeah.
Sacre bleu.
We're rectifying it next week, though. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Other than, obviously, Justin, who listens, quite clearly.
He loved one of our tweets the other day.
He liked a couple of them, I believe. So,
bless him.
So yeah, our famous listener. So.
To have a few words from our sponsors.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. The very beautiful looking Wendy Pretter. Is she on your to-do list? Like if you meet her in real life, you're allowed to.
She's when you open the wallet.
Yeah.
She's the picture in my wallet.
I get you. But other than our lust for Wendy, her and her magical journeys are there to help you plan your next Disney vacation. So whether that's a Disney cruise or a trip to Disney World, Wendy can help you by getting your reservations at midnight, getting those all-important Be Our Guest dining reservations, or meet and greets with Anna and Elsa. And I think if you quote this podcast, Craig, get a bit of a discount on your deposit, don't you?
Yeah, $25 off, yeah.
There you go. So, next time you want to book a holiday, give Wendy at Magical Journey Travels a little tinkle at wpmagicjourneys.com or on Twitter at wpmagicjourneys.
God bless Wendy and all that sail in it.
We also have a special offer for listeners of Dis After Dark. Our friends at Kingswood Travel have an amazing deal on 14-day Disney World tickets. The standard cost of these tickets is £384 for an adult and £364 for children. However, if you mention Dis After Dark, you can get an extra £35 off these prices, meaning adult tickets are £349 and children £329 respectively. Please email Ali at kenwoodtravel.co.uk, that's ALI at kenwoodtravel.co.uk, and use the code Dis After Dark. And finally, just a couple of quick shout-outs. So, Brian Turner, sorry we missed you earlier. We'd finished recording when we got your message. So, keep on trucking, and thank you for listening and enjoy the show. And also, congratulations to Lewis Sutton, a former guest of the show who has now visited every Disney theme park around the world. Tokyo Disney Sea was his last destination on that journey, and he made it there today, just after his birthday. So, well done, a great achievement, and we hope to have you on the show soon to talk about it, and hope that you and Kat enjoy the rest of your holiday. And with that, we'll get back to the show.
Well,
but yeah,
speaking about that, we actually it was Craig, wasn't it, who put a notice out this evening about people interacting with the show.
Yeah,
I did, yeah.
And we actually, unusually for us, we got a lot of responses.
Everyone must have shit the bed.
So, Craig, do you want to run through these? Do you want me to run through these? Do we both run through these? What do you want to do?
Yeah, you do the first one while I just pull it up.
Oh God, pray pulling one off.
I can't find it now. Where was it?
22 comments.
That's what I mean. Like, that's what I'm talking about. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's in our secret group as well, actually. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, they put it out of the secret army because the secret army have been neglected of late.
They have. If you're, so we'll give you another go on this one. So if you want to listen, if you want to join the special members only Facebook group that we have a public Facebook group that a lot of you are on, but we've got, I'd say about 10% of our people in the official group are not in the secret group. So you've got to search for Unofficial After Dark Podcast Network Army. If you type that into Facebook, you'll find it. So do that. So the first one is to one of our Geordie friends. Actually, our only Geordie friend, because Lee doesn't like me. But Mr. Gary Slater, who wants a shout out to the fuzzy-bearded Geordie Whopper.
I think he actually wants a shout out there to Lee, but I don't know where the hair is.
Yeah, it's true. He hasn't got a fuzzy beard either, has he? Peter T, who is on his 5th 12-hour night shift in a week to pay for his September visit.
And it ain't driving trains, he says. What's he implying there?
That you get good money for driving a train.
Well, maybe he gets good money for not driving a train.
He probably doesn't. Even I wanted to become a train driver, and I failed that one. Some bloke called Adam Sultana. Yeah. Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch. Well, we'll come to him in a minute. And now, somebody who is like me, a Lord. Luke Rowe.
Luke Rowe, yeah.
He went to Harry Potter today. I recommend it. We've talked about Harry Potter. Did we talk about? I think we talked about on Universe last night, didn't we? Harry Potter tour. But yeah, we're all big fans of that now. What's Kevin Curtis Allen drinking there? A Yachtsman Ale
from the Isle of Wight.
That's right. Yeah. Shout out for the Southerners drinking. Brian Rose, Stephen Lidd, and Jed Pennart, who said he wants a shout out to all us poor Floridians who never get over to the UK to enjoy all the fun. But I did ride Hulk for my lunch break today. Well, see, that's the thing, right? You can't turn around going, "Oh, us poor Floridians not come to the UK," when your lunch break you're going on bloody Hulk.
Freaking pain in the ass.
Jesus. But not that we're jealous or anything. Right, so we've done our shout-outs. There's a few bits of news that I think we wanted to discuss. And, Paul, you kind of alluded to one there, what we both did when talking about the lack of Iger at the ceremony. So I don't think it's a news story as such, but there has been a report that one of the larger shareholders in Disneyland Paris is not happy with the current deal on the table.
Yes, but it's the financial investment group that questioned the selling of the shares in the first place. 6 months ago, maybe?
Right, the same people, okay.
Yeah, that have now come out and said they don't believe that the share offer is fair to shareholders and that they want to increase the price to €2.50 a share.
So they're talking about a 50% increase on that share price. Now, I didn't realise it was as much as that, but as little as that, but the actual price they offered of €2 a share, or what they said they want to offer, was 67% higher than it had been at the close of trading the day before. Now, Disneyland Paris shares are obviously completely stagnated at the moment, so they're still stuck at €2. So they're looking at another 50% increase. Do you think they'll fight that one, or do you think they'll go, that's reasonable enough?
I think they'll make the first offer at what they've already said and see how many people take it. I think they've got enough time that they can make that first offer that they've already said they're going to and see how many people take that. and then if they need to, they will increase the offer.
Interesting.
I can't see that they're going to change their mind at this point.
No, that's interesting actually. Yeah, I'm in no rush to sell my shares because the thing is, if they're successful, they'll buy them out for me anyway. But yeah, that's interesting.
I think within days of being the main shareholder, they're going to announce a third park. I'm just putting that out there.
That'll be all right.
It's always been on. We've discussed it before. It was always in the plans. There was supposed to be a third gate. I think by 2022. I think. So yeah, it's possible. I don't know what's happened to Village Natures or whatever it's called, but that was supposed to be open this summer. But I've not heard anything about that.
As far as I'm aware, it's still opening.
Yeah, I've not heard it's been delayed, but at the same time,
No.
You'd have thought with it supposed to be opening up fairly soon, we'd have heard more about it than what's out there at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's a bit odd. But saying that, they still haven't announced the Run Disney packages, have they? Sorry, not the packages. The
Bibs, yeah.
Yeah, so you still can't buy those without buying a package, and that was supposed to be spring. All right, we're in spring, but it's getting nearer to summer now.
Yeah, I believe it's end of May, early June now.
Wow, it's going to be quite late.
They are apparently at the London Marathon Expo this weekend.
I think did they not do that last year as well?
Yeah,
I think they attended
I
that.
think they've got Paula Radcliffe attending this year.
Oh, they better put some plastic sheets down.
She didn't do anything at the half marathon, as far as I'm aware.
No, it's because it's a half marathon. It's half the length of a normal marathon.
Yeah.
Or as the Americans would call it, Snickers. It's a joke from the 80s right there.
Adam Sultana will get that because he's that old.
No, I think it's always been Snickers over there. Them and their poor names of food substances. So that's quite a biggie. Was there any other stories that anyone else wanted to bring to the table?
I'll bring one to the table. I never bring anything to the table unless anyone else wants to, but I'm going to do it anyway. I've got this off WDW News Today. The poor man's Lou Mongello, Mr. Tom Corliss.
Hi, Tom.
All right, Tom. Sorry, mate. And this is breaking: creating Disney Star Wars Starship Luxury Resort and experience attached to Hollywood studios. And basically, for what I can believe, it's a 2-day experience. You're not just staying in the hotel. You are immersed in a Star Wars story as much as you want to be. So you can just be an observer in a story that's going on, or you can take part. And from what I can gather is it's basically they're going to entwine you with Jedi Academy and the new Millennium Falcon ride, but it's all going to be done in an artistic, theatrical way, interacting with the characters. All your food and dining is included. The price is the talking. Again, this is all rumour. The price they're talking is $900 to $1,000 per guest.
I mean, that's a big difference in cost, isn't it? $900 and $1,000. Which way would it fall? Which way? That could be the tipping point for people about wanting to go. But Paul, I mean, you obviously saw this earlier on first, probably. I looked at it once you kind of shared the link with us all, but I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, as a Star Wars fan, I should be elated, but I think it sounds an awful lot of money for what it is.
I definitely think it's a lot of money. If you've got that spare money and you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to do it, aren't you?
Let's break down. So, I mean, as Craig said, this is, I think, was it a survey that was sent out?
Just a survey at the moment, yeah.
But I mean, they included images, artists' impressions and an itinerary of what it's going to contain. But to me, for the cost of £1,000 a guest, and it said that as well. It didn't say that's £1,000 for adults, £500 for children, or whatever. Let's call it £1,000 a person. You'd be looking at a family of four, £4,000 for a 2-day experience, of which you get a afternoon in Hollywood Studios to go on the attractions. Everything else is within this resort.
You get all the meals, which is buffet breakfast, lunches, and signature evening meals. You get featured entertainment and dinner shows, exclusive park admission to Star Wars themed land at Walt Disney World, Star Wars Starship amenities, including the pool area, which you never see in any of the films, the water garden, fitness area, onboard cantina, and robotic droid butlers.
That's what I was going to say. I want my breakfast served in bed by C3PO.
Yeah.
It's set to me. I mean, I get what they're
I want
doing,
mine.
but so Paul.
I was just going to say, I want Slave Girl Leia to serve me in mine.
Oh, God.
Damn right. With Joe in
Zombie
the background.
layer.
Which is now, yeah.
Oh, too tsunami. But
Too soon.
surely, it's like if you read it, does it not sound like one of the cruises?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
A 2-night thing, all inclusive. You're kind of stuck where you are. Sounds like a cruise ship. Why don't they just turn it into a Star Wars themed cruise? And they've done with it. And they can turn Castaway Key into Tatooine or something.
Yeah. I do wonder how long the whole experience thing would last. I wonder whether it might be like a special thing for a year, and then it just becomes a hotel after that.
I just don't think it's sustainable.
No.
Not as a hotel. Because,
No.
like you say, I mean, it's not that it doesn't have the fan base, it does. But you're talking, for that 2-day experience, almost the same cost as going out for 2 weeks.
Well, but how does that compare to, say, a deluxe? So it's $500 a night, isn't it, roughly?
Oh, it's fairly cheap compared to some of the deluxe, depending on what type of room you want.
So I mean, if it is a high-end resort like a deluxe, $500 a night isn't that unrealistic, is it?
And then they'll always have deals on and stuff like that. There's a lot of people at the moment getting offended by things that Walt Disney World are doing. So when they put the cabanas out in Tomorrowland, people were outraged and offended. For me, if I was a Walt Disney World local and my daughter was having her 13th, 14th birthday, I'd quite happily pay for her to have an experience in a cabana with all of her friends.
I don't think many people that live in Florida have that kind of money.
Well, okay, wherever. If I'm local to the parks, America, whatever, I would, and that was an option for her birthday, I would pay it. So,
I think going back to the cabanas, well, there's two things. First of all, we now live in a day and age where everyone is shocked and offended by everything.
Yeah.
That's number one. Thanks, millennials. But secondly, with the cabanas, that was, my understanding of that more than anything else was that it just took away from the theming.
Well, potentially, but it was a trial. So the next thing that's just breaking, which is breaking news as well, the last week or so, is they're talking about opening what's Walt Disney's special
Club 33.
Club 33 lounges.
Yeah. 4 of them.
4 of them, and people are outraged again that it's going to be potentially, I'm making it up, I can't remember, but $15,000 to join it, and then an annual fee of $15,000, whatever. And people are outraged and offended, and I just don't get it. Again, if I've just won the Euro lottery and I've got £100 million at my disposal, I'll go and be a member of that if I want. I don't care.
With the exchange rate, you still wouldn't be able to afford it, Craig.
We bounced up against dollar today, up 27
We did a
points.
bit, yeah, we did. Yeah.
No, I know what you mean, but I think I don't think you could be offended or upset at Disney making a buck on exclusive events or exclusive amenities, because that's just for people that can afford it.
Exactly.
If they're doing that to the parks, and I think this is everyone's fear, is that year on year trips to Disney World are becoming more and more expensive because they're trying to make it a more deluxe thing. We're seeing it in Paris, the annual passes, although arguably that's actually for decent reasons. But I think what people are concerned about is how long is a Disney holiday going to be affordable. No one should be offended if they want to do a Club 33 for people that can afford it, because, as you say, it's an exclusive club, it's all nice, it's a separate thing. I think people should only really start getting that upset and offended if, your trip to Disney World now, staying at a Pop Century style resort, was going to cost you £15,000 rather than £5,000, for example.
But they play tune with that, don't they? I mean, they monitor park attendance, they monitor how much revenue they're getting in per guest, etc. So they will keep adding experiences and jacking up the price essentially until they get to the point where it starts to tip the other way, and then they can cut back on it. They can not have a price increase or have promotions and things like that. So it is about supply and demand, and so long as people are willing to go, they'll try and figure out how they can increase their profits.
I mean, we're paying again this year to go to the Pirates firework parade thing, where you go out on the lagoon and you watch the parade, the fireworks, and you get a dessert. We're also paying for the Star Wars dessert party. This is all upselling. And me and Nick were talking today, and all that stuff that they're putting out at the Star Wars dessert party is stuff that was going in the bin anyway.
Yeah.
That's being out on display at the all-you-can-eat buffets all day, and in the hotels and whatnot, and was waste. And somebody's had this idea for these dessert parties. The Wishes dessert party is exactly the same. It's all beautiful food, but it's not freshly made for that dessert party. It's all leftovers.
Allegedly. We just say allegedly just in case we get Bob Iger's legal team involved. But probably...
Yeah, the views of Craig Lucas and Nick Branch.
No, just Craig. I'm not agree with Craig.
Do not necessarily represent the two poles.
That's what I would do if it was me. I'm not saying Disney are doing that, but it's genius. It's just upselling, and people walk past that Wishes dessert party, they go, oh, what are they doing? And it doesn't detract from their day. This hotel, this Walt Disney, this Star Wars hotel, we probably can't afford it, none of us, but people can afford it, and people will go, and if them going helps us have keep our costs down for park admission and whatnot, then so be it.
That's it. I've got no problem with this thing at all. Whilst I'm turning around saying an awful lot of money, that doesn't mean to say they shouldn't do it. That doesn't mean to say their pricing's all wrong. It's probably spot on. If you get all that stuff, it will cost a lot of money. But it's just, I would not, I'd very find it very hard to justify spending that kind of dollar on that experience. But I have no problem with them doing it at all. As long as I Star Wars Land, I don't care.
The thing is, though, if they opened a hotel that was, themed like a starship and it looked fantastic, and it, it's going to have a restaurant in it, it's probably going to have a bar in it. So even if you can't afford to stay there, you're probably going to want to go and eat in the restaurant, get your picture taken, buy a souvenir. They'll still make money on it.
If someone buys the rights up again to Star Trek, I know it was in Universal back in the day, I don't know who can do it now, But imagine putting that very same experience onto the Starship Enterprise.
Well, I did that in Vegas. It didn't last very long.
Well, that's the wrong place
No,
for that.
Of course it is. No, I mean it's a Paramount property. Universal had the rights to do the attraction they did there, but Paramount own it. Allegedly, it's one of the things that should be coming to that Paramount Park if it ever gets around to being built in Kent.
There won't be any toilets in it though.
There will not be. There'll be lots of doors.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I mean, I've got no problem with it. So I think it could be good. And also as well, let's be honest. I talk about how much it is. So let's say that. Well, I say it was $2,000 a person. So you're looking at a family for $8,000, right? Awful lot of money. But if you really want to do it that badly, you'll just save up longer.
Yeah.
You won't be able to go to Florida 2 years in a row or whatever, but you save up for 3 years or 4 years, you'll be able to have your Florida holiday and that as well. It's a once in a lifetime thing. So
I'm going to be staying at Golden Oaks anyway.
With Carl from Up.
Just too cheap.
Isn't that where the Golden Girls were?
No.
Golden Oaks is the Disney retirement village, isn't it?
No, it's the Four Seasons. The Four Seasons Resort is also going to be selling private residences and joining Golden Oaks, and they're going on sale starting at $5 million a pop.
Bargain.
And it says you get access to a 5-acre water park, in-home spa services, additionally a second kitchen designed for catering services will be built into the home so that Four Seasons Catering will have facilities to accommodate any bookings made by residents. So in other words, they'll come in and cater your Barbie.
They'll come in and heat up your microwave meal.
That's it. They bring leftovers from the dessert party. So that's like
the second leftovers.
That's like leftovers squared, and
cut your steaks up for you.
Allegedly.
I don't want to poop it for that money. And then none of it comes cheap. The Homeowners Association fee is $24,500. Well, $24,514. So you really need that $14 as well. So that's the way to go. Never mind $900 a night. That's cheap.
Jesus. So I suppose talking about Star Wars, it would be wrong for us to not talk about certain things that happen at Star Wars celebrations. So we'll start with probably the biggest thing to come out of it. Has everybody now seen the trailer for The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
It raised more questions than it answered.
Somebody, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but somebody's done a shot-by-shot comparison of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi's first trailers. And it's actually quite surprising how similar the imagery is all the way through it. Very, very strange. But yeah, I mean, me and Paul talked about it. We were Pdubbs. We were both quite underwhelmed when we watched it. I've seen it a couple of times since then. The thing is, I'm such a fan. They could have put a piece of shit on a stick and waved it around for 2 minutes with some music, and I'd probably go, "Yeah, I want to go and see that."
On a lightsaber.
On a lightsaber, even better. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see that trailer and think I need to go down and see this film immediately. Like when I saw the trailer for Guardians Volume 2, I was like, that looks amazing, I need to see this now. I was kind of left with, I can't wait to see it, I want to see it, but there was nothing I saw in the trailer that really got me excited in the way that the Force Awakens trailer did. I mean, the thing is, I think it's a different vibe, it's a totally different film. The Force Awakens was very much fan service, and that was clear with who they showed in the trailers with that film as well. So they're obviously going for a different atmosphere. But Craig, Mr. D, what did you make of the trailer? Stunned into silence. I think.
That good? Lost him?
I don't know. It's all gone
Well, I
quiet.
thought it was good.
You thought it was good? Okay, fair enough.
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
It made. I mean, it's you're right. It's a first teaser trailer, and I guess for the last movie episode, I had to think about that, episode 8. For the last one, then I thought the trailers got better as they went on. So I'm sure this will be the same.
Yeah.
They'll reveal a little bit more and a little bit more, and get you hooked.
Yeah, and I don't need to see. I don't need to see too much. That's what I'm saying. You at the same time, you don't. But I'm still excited to go and see it. But I just didn't think the trailer was as exciting as I'd liked it to have been, really. But so there's that, and also they announced during the celebration weekend that Star Wars Rebels is coming to an end after 4 seasons.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't really watched that.
Paul, you're watching at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd seen the first season when it first came around. I've just started watching the second season. I've enjoyed what I've seen. And obviously it tied in kind of to Rogue One as well. There were some little nods to the Rebels in Rogue One.
That's right, yeah. And I think, because I've only seen bits and pieces, but I'm going to catch up with Star Wars Rebels. But I wonder what they'll do, because, I mean, the thing is, they've been doing this with the Marvel series for quite a while now, haven't they? Where they've been... where they kind of reboot things. So they had, like, Avengers Assemble, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then it was Avengers Ultron something or other, and now it's Avengers Reassembled, I think.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man has changed a few times as well. So I wonder if they're going to do the same thing with Star Wars.
It's possible, because they kind of... This is kind of a follow-on to the Clone Wars, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've even carried over some of the characters from Clone Wars. So it wouldn't surprise me, though there has been talk that the executive producer on Clone Wars and Rebels, Dave Filoni, might possibly get a live-action go.
Really?
One of the spin-offs, yeah.
Well, I suppose it makes sense.
I'm possibly thinking that it might be the rumoured Obi-Wan film, because it would fit right in his realm. Having actually used Obi-Wan in both shows.
I would love to see that film.
He's back.
I went and poured myself an old putney, sorry.
Old putney.
A 12-year single malt old putney. It's like amber nectar.
And they talked a little bit as well about the Star Wars land. Not too many details, but I think one of the more telling things, which has also kind of divided people, is that your choices whilst you're there will determine your experience.
That's phenomenal.
I think it's very interesting. I mean, I wonder if they're going to... I know it's a completely different leap, but I wonder if they're going to be looking down the Fallon route about... like how they've got the queuing system where you have to come back. You get your time slot and you come back rather than just wait in the queue. I wonder if choices that you make mean that you go and do things at a different time, and the experience of those attractions will be different because of it.
It could be your food choices. It could be different queues, a dark queue or a Jedi queue, or it could be anything.
But I mean, I think that's only quite interesting, to be honest.
I also believe they've got a new version of a lightsaber that they're working on.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah, well, basically, it will look like it is real.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the greatest thing ever known to man.
Or it could be an absolute failure.
No, we're talking about Star Wars now, not Avatar Land.
Oh, that was a failure before it even started.
Well, we'll find out in not very long, once Mr. D gets out there.
Star Wars Land, right? Harry Potter is going to become insignificant when Star Wars Land opens.
Probably right.
Because they're jacking the prices up in there. it's $6 now for a butterbeer. I'm not buying a butterbeer anytime soon.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, I've got to be honest, like, we had a butterbeer when it first opened. I mean, we've not been able to go back since, but I probably wouldn't go and have a butterbeer again anyway. Unless they were free. Because it just didn't do it for me. Just didn't like it. Not enough to pay, $5, $6, $7 for one anyway. But you do, you would definitely try these things on the first time. But yeah, I at the end of the day, as beloved as Harry Potter is, Star Wars is multi-generational. There are more people obsessed with Star Wars than Harry Potter.
Definitely.
Across the age ranges. I mean, Harry Potter is not a franchise which is stuck with just one generation of people in the same way, like Star Wars. That's multi-generational as well. But Star Wars has got a 30-year head start on Potter, hasn't it?
Potter's looking tired. The two Potter lands are looking tired, I think.
Wow. Already?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're already mature. Look, you've got to think Jaws was taken out. It only lasted 15 years, the Jaws ride. Not even that. 12 years?
93. Reopened in 93, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it was open for... it was open for just under 20 years, about 18 years.
Okay, 18 years. So Potter's already halfway there now. It's already tired. It's finished. Lee.
They'll be remaking the movie soon, though. Don't forget.
Well, I think
that's my prediction. They'll remake the movies before too long, really.
I think...
A couple of years they'll announce it.
I think what they'll do... There's supposed to be, I think, 5 of these Fantastic Beasts films.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got 4 more of those every 2 or 3 years. Then we will have The Cursed Child with the original cast. And then I think you're right. I think we will then see a reboot of the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, in a number of years' time, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, it's an absolute guaranteed moneymaker if they remake them.
Yeah.
And then because they cut out quite a lot of the big books.
Yeah, definitely.
They could easily make them 10 films, 12 films. Absolute money machine.
What about animated?
Yep, could be CGI.
And then what you can do is you can change the rides accordingly.
Yeah.
So they won't age then, because that's the problem with those things now is that Daniel Radcliffe is obviously 10 years or so older when he filmed the footage for the Forbidden Journey attraction.
Yeah.
So anyone that knows him now knows he looks and they all look a lot different to how they do on that attraction, which dates it a little bit. So maybe that's something that'll make it a bit more timeless, and then you could redo everything, all the paintings, all the film footage for the rides, and it would never then date, really.
Yeah.
There you go, Universal. That's my idea for you. Kick Warner Brothers to the curb. Do it yourself.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to put it out there again. This episode will be remembered for 2 massive predictions that I made, and I think Avatar is going to destroy Harry Potter.
It's a second one, the dessert party.
Yeah.
Only if it turns out there's unobtainium below Hogwarts Castle.
Well, yeah.
Then you might be right.
Honest to God, that place is going to blow everyone's socks off. Don't forget, you walk into Potter and it's basically concrete. It's just grey concrete with a bit of snow on top. Let's be honest about it. It is, innit?
Lee Malaby's going to be listening to this episode spinning in his grave. And what you're saying there about his beloved Potter.
Spinning these Deathly Hallow.
It's literally it's just concrete moulded into buildings with fake snow on top. Yippee. They're doing a foam party for Christmas. Get over it. Big deal.
Well, that spoils the next Universal After Dark by Craig revealing that information. But right, I think that's probably enough for this week.
I've got one more bit.
Go on.
That's a bit of breaking news that will also make Lee squirm. Rumours that Star-Lord and Baby Groot are moving into One Man's Dream.
Oh my God.
Tell him Steve Dave.
No. I love One Man's Dream. I also love Star-Lord and Groot.
Well, they've already got meet and greet in there.
Who would win in a fight?
What, a giant tree and Star-Lord?
Against One Man's Dream. Like Jim Hill. Oh no, Harry Hill, his brother.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I'd love for them to do a meet and greet in the park. I'm just not really convinced that that's the location for it.
Well, they've already got a meet and greet in there.
You know where they should put the meet and greet? In between Rock and Roller Coaster and the Tower of Terror.
You mean the two rides that have been rumoured to be replaced by Marvel rides?
That will come. There's another prediction. That will come. They can't do it now because the rest of the park is desolate. They cannot do it. When Star Wars opens, that'll get done, and people will not care.
Well, I think Universal might have a say on that, but we'll see.
You mean that Tower of Terror in Florida will get a makeover?
Yes, definitely.
The only thing about that is by the time Star Wars Land is finished, that's going to be, not a new ride in Disneyland at that point. So.
Yeah, but it'll be just in time for Volume 3.
Yeah, just announced today with James Gunn coming back. Early reviews are through the roof. The proper reviews are now coming up for Guardians. They're through the roof as well. He's coming back for the third go round. I mean, Guardians is big news.
I've got nothing against Guardians, right? That's great. I hope it's a great film, and I hope the third one's a great film as well. But just frickin' leave the Tower of Terror alone. Build a Guardians ride. Because I'm sorry, but the makeover that they've done on the Hollywood one is pants. The ride itself might be good. I don't. It's Tower of Terror with some stuck-on bits. Leftovers from the buffet. Just leave my Tower of Terror alone. Bugger off.
Well, I don't think there's any final way to end a podcast than with Paul Dolan telling you to bugger off. So, on that note, tell him Steve Dave. On that note,
bugger off.
On that note, thank you very much for joining us. There'll be a new Pop After Dark. Me and Craig are going off to do Pop After Dark, so you'll get one of those this week. There'll be a Universe After Dark if we can squeeze people to get together at the same time to record one. Basically, you're just being spoilt by all these amazing podcasts at the moment.
The After Dark Podcast Network.
I know, it's actually becoming an actual network. And just a quick thing for me, which I meant to say at the beginning, if anyone listens to this because of me promoting this on a radio station last night, I apologise, but I hope you've enjoyed it anyway. So I'll leave that there. You can find out more if you look around. But thank you all so much for joining, and we will see you with another Dis After Dark in about a week or so's time.
Come back though, after you've buggered off.
Visit our website at www.patreon.com/Dis After Dark. That's patreon.com/Dis After Dark. Thank you. This podcast is part of the After Dark Podcast Network.